Hey, Geeky Pastimes here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to get into Bunker 11 really simply, really quickly by yourself. So the first thing I did here was put it into plunder mode and turn don't fill on. Plunder's quite a lot easier, especially if you're doing it in solo, because obviously if you die you've still got more chances that you can keep on respawning. And I put don't fill on because I don't want to mess around with someone else's game. Like if you're getting matched up with someone who's trying to play it sensibly, that'd be super annoying to them if you're just running around trying to open a bunker. And you can do this whole thing solo, like it's not going to be much of a disadvantage for you to not have random people on your team. Obviously, if you can get a real team together, if you can get people who you can communicate with who want to do the bunker as well, this is much easier. You don't have to do everything yourself. But if you don't have anyone else, I just wanted to kind of show that it definitely is possible solo. I've seen a few people complaining that it's like impossible to do solo, that there's no chance you could do it, or people saying that you wouldn't be able to do it in Warzone, things like that. Although this is in Plunder, I did it quickly enough that even if you had a bad zone, you should still be able to do it in Warzone. And I wasn't too lucky with getting the numbers right or anything like that. If you were really lucky with the numbers and you had them all in the north of the map, you'd probably be able to do it even quicker than how fast I managed to do it. So I am going to show you the whole game just to make sure that everyone's sort of clear on what I was doing. I'm not going to be cutting or anything like that. If you do want to see me playing, and we do tend to get into Bunker 11 every time there's a patch update or anything like that, or just when someone in the chat asks, check me out over on Twitch. I'm Geeky Pastimes on Twitch, and if you just let me know that you want to see Bunker 11 and I've got a team together who are willing to do it, then I'll do it then. So at the very beginning of the game, the main thing you have to do is to, first of all, find a phone that has the message, and secondly, get some kind of transportation. You wouldn't really be able to do this on foot. I'm sure technically it's possible, and maybe someone will show me. There's a weird glitch there where stuff popped out of me in the plane. Don't know what that was about. But I normally drop just at the top here at the dam. Now I was quite lucky in this game that the flight path started at the dam. So if you drop down here, you can see this sort of like large rectangular building. That's where one of the activation phones are. If you were really lucky, the first number would be 9 as well, which is just underneath the dam there. But if you drop down here, you can just go in through this window. I was also kind of lucky that there weren't any other players. No one else was trying to do this. No one else was coming in here. So you can get the activation number. So that code was TVAT, Voicim and CM. So that's 2, 8 and 7. Now, since I was at the dam building, I could go up here and grab a helicopter and then start heading over towards 2, which was the first one. Once you've got those codes and you understand which numbers they are and you understand which phones you have to go to, etc., you do have to go to them in order. That's really, really important. So 2's over here. It's just in this little building that's kind of next to the diner. Normally when we play this in squad games, Name Gear does this one. So this is actually one that I'm not as familiar with as some of the others. It's a little bit annoying that it was a long way out of the way, but since I had the helicopter, because no one else had landed there and taken the helicopter, that made it way, way easier just to fly over there straight away. I was also pretty lucky that for most of this, I didn't get shot at or shot down or anything like that. When I went over to do this one, I couldn't see anybody nearby, which was super, super lucky. Now, like I said, you can do this in Plunder. I think it's a lot easier in Plunder, but you can do it in Warzone as well. If something happens where lots of people are trying to get into Bunker 11, which once the first few guides went up, that's what happened before, where loads of people would camp it. It's actually much easier to do in Warzone, as long as you can get it down and do it really, really quickly, just because people don't tend to camp it in Warzone. So, that's the first phone. That's for 2, and you don't need to wait around or anything like that. Just press it, make sure you hear the Morse thing go, and then you can get going over to the next one. So the next one was Voicim, which is 8. Now this one was, again, a little bit annoying for me because this is hospital. This is like the second furthest one away. So I had to fly all the way over there. And actually while I was flying there, I could see someone shooting over there, which worried me a little bit. Also got this weird lag thing I get sometimes. I don't know if anyone else gets it, where I think it's some kind of desync with the helicopter, where it sort of like jumps back a little bit. It's almost like you get stuck in the air. You've got no idea what caused it. You just saw it there again. That's not me doing something weird with the camera. That's like some weird desync. I guess it's the server trying to like catch you up with the position where it thinks you are. So anyway, the phone for 8 is just in this sort of reception area at the front of the hospital, kind of where I put the orange marker. So I just go down there. Obviously, if you're doing this and trying to do it as quickly as possible, make sure you start kind of descending a long time before you get there, because the helicopter takes ages to get down. I have no idea if rocking backwards and forwards actually makes you go down quicker. It just feels like it does. So you run in here, this is where the number 8 is. Just press it again. You're not really listening for anything. You're just making sure that it actually pressed and that you hear the Morse code, I guess. But you can just run away again straight away. Now the last one I needed was actually a really good one. This is one that hardly ever will get you in trouble. There's not many people camping around there. So I don't think many people who don't do the bunkers actually even know this room exists. So this is 7, and 7's at the airport. If you just look over here and see on the map, it's just kind of there near the nose of the crashed plane. 6 is up in the air traffic control tower, and that one can be a bit of a pain because it's quite hard to get up there if someone's camping. But 7's kind of hidden away in the bottom part of the airport, so it's really, really easy to get to. So I just fly over there. Again, you know, I had a couple of people shooting at me a tiny bit, but it wasn't too bad really. And whenever you're using a helicopter, I always prefer to kind of keep it safe as much as possible. So I was looking at trying to land in that little bit just there on the left, but then I figured actually if anyone's in the airport, they're going to be able to see the helicopter and try and blow it up. So I thought I'd land it here where it's a tiny bit more hidden from the actual airport. But yeah, 7, you just run through this door and up these stairs. I got a tiny bit confused here and looked for the wrong place for the phone, but it's on the right. And then you press it, and then you should hear this message. That little chime sound is really important because that's the one that lets you know that you've done everything right and it's going to be open. There is actually a little bit of talking after that, but basically once you've pressed the 3rd Morse code phone, you'll either hear like a bap, which means you did it wrong, or you'll hear that nice little chime noise, and that means Bunker 11 is now open. So now it's really simple. All you've got to do is fly up to Bunker 11. Bunker 11, for anyone who doesn't know, is right near the top of the map. It's just near the military base, sort of at the end of the runway, near a fire station. And I actually started getting in a little bit more trouble up here, which I thought would probably eventually happen, but it did cost me a few seconds, annoyingly. And again, make sure that you start sort of descending a long time before. But yeah, I had a missile lock onto me, so I just bailed out. I didn't want to risk this run getting shot down. It's a good thing I did too, because that rocket actually came really, really close. And then, like I said, nowadays, even though this is in Plunder, I don't often see people camping Bunker 11. It seems pretty rare. So once you've done all of that, that light should be green, and then you just go press the keypad, and it will slowly open up. So that's how you open it up solo in Plunder. Like I say, it's really, really easy. It just requires a little bit of luck as long as you get a helicopter and can keep the helicopter for a while. Or you can do it with any other vehicle. Obviously, it just takes a little bit longer with other vehicles. As I said, I wouldn't really try it on foot. The main sort of difficult part of all of this is making sure that you understand those Russian numbers from 0 to 9. You don't want to make one of those mistakes where you think that you heard 3 and it's actually 9 or vice versa. We had loads of trouble with that when we were learning it. But I have got lots of video guides where I've shown you all of the different numbers and what they sound like in game. I've shown you where all of the different phones are that you need to go to. So hopefully, with the help of those, you can learn them. Once you've done this a few times, it gets much, much easier. And then you can get in Bunker 11 pretty much whenever you want. And it's actually like, you know, worth getting in here. Obviously, there's this keypad that we don't know what to do with that appeared in the latest patch. And then also in here, you know, you can get the mud jawber, which you'll get a blueprint if you haven't picked it up before. There's a couple of miniguns, which the miniguns aren't the best guns, but they're a lot of fun. People don't often expect to get shot at by a minigun, so it's kind of fun to do that. And then there's this big red button, so you can see the nukes over in the sort of mist room. There they are. So hopefully you found this video useful, or at least entertaining in some way. If you did, please do like and subscribe. I really appreciate all of the support. Go check me out on Twitch. I'm Geeky Pastimes on Twitch, or on Twitter, where I tend to post things first, really, on Twitter. I'm at Geeky Pastimes over on there, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.